Okay, what up?
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? The Knicks with a big win tonight over the Philadelphia 76ers, 138-89. Super duper win. Big win. And this is the way you want to go into break. You dig what I'm saying? This is how you want to go into break. I got my brother Tony Crow here with me. And as usual, we are going to break this one down to the very last compound. My brother Tony, what's popping with you? How you feeling after tonight's win?
Better than last night, Sim.
Word.
I'll tell you that much.
Word.
You know, but way to erase some memory, way to bounce back, way to put belt to ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They straight up whipped the Philadelphia 76ers ass, just like you said. You know what I'm saying? They just whipped them. And I think that was the last game of the series. So do the Knicks have the season series?
No, it's tied.
It's tied at 2?
Every road team won.
Okay, that's right. Exactly. That's right. They talked about that in the telecast too. Yeah, I mean the Knicks put it on them tonight. You know what I mean? They put it on them. And Jose Alvarado, it was his show tonight. He took over the game. Man. Just Alvarado, talk to me about him. You know, just like how you feeling about him. You know, I know you were saying a few things before we logged on. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me just how you feeling about him. And what, you know.
Number one, he's living up to his reputation, right? Doing what he does. I said it was nice to see it in the first game in his debut, get those grand theft steals that he's known for. And we've seen it again tonight. I think he had 5 steals tonight. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm impressed by those because when he did it with Brown on the Celtics, and when he did it tonight, the opponent sees him coming. They literally see him coming, and he's still poking it away and catching up. You know what I mean? He has speed on defense that I haven't really seen. But yeah, I'm like, can he live up to this? Can he keep it up? The shooting, you know what I mean? Which was, some people say it was a weakness, some people say it's a strength or underrated aspect of his game. You know what I mean? Is he playing off adrenaline because he's home? You know what I mean? Is this the honeymoon stage? But yeah, man, he's showing some grit, and he, like I said before, he's like a little enforcer. You know what I mean? You see him standing up for Mitchell Robinson, an aspect that we need from this team, because I think there's really only a few guys that are gonna stand up in the way that he does. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, man, I love to see it.
He's a mini enforcer. I hate, I don't like the fact that our enforcer has to come from a guy the same height as me. You know what I'm saying? But we got one now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, up until tonight, maybe Cat did it. I'll give Cat that. Maybe Cat did it. But up until tonight, you haven't seen too many times when one of our players hits the floor and somebody steps in like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do that to my man. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that too much on this team. Even with Josh Hart out there, you haven't really seen that but we've seen it tonight with Jose Alvarado. And I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. He's already got his first tech as a Knick. But I'll take it because we need one of those guys. We need someone that brings that edge every time. And the way that he defends in the backcourt, always, laying back, it makes the offense nervous. It makes the guy throwing the ball in a little bit nervous. You know what I'm saying? Now you're lurking, you're watching. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where is he at? Because, he might be, he's lurking somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It makes him a little bit nervous. The offensive side, on the offensive side of the ball. And then now you start, making mistakes here and there.
And I thought he started the game shaky.
Yep, a little bit.
From you know what I mean? And to see that, where I was a little worried, like defensively, he didn't look effective initially. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, all right, this is what we brought him here for. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons we brought him here, specifically for guys like Maxey. You know what I mean? Like, that has given us trouble in the past. But he found his way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He found his way quick. And a lot of that also had to do with the collective of the team. But I know at one point, before it was a 50-point game, he you know what I mean? Before it was close to a 50-point game, he had the highest plus minus at one point at like 31. So he's doing his thing. I love it, man. And I always love a hometown hero.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing right there. You know what I'm saying? A hometown guy, you know what I mean, that fans can really just get behind and be in love with him. Hopefully he stays. Right now he seems like a really, really good fit with this basketball team. He just brings a personality that we don't have, an energy that this team didn't have, a spark plug. We didn't have everyone is like real cool on this team, like too cool for school. You know what I mean? Everybody's just like real cool. I'm not saying that to say that they're not bringing things up that players aren't doing wrong, but just like we never had someone that just brings the spark. He kind of brings a spark. You know what I'm saying? Little plays, you see him, screaming over little plays. We need that. We really, really needed that spark. And so far he's brought a spark that we've needed.
Hey,
I love
son,
it. I love it.
My bad. That might be his superhero name. Spark Plug.
Spark. Yeah. It might be his MBK Comics names. I know people, have the, GTA. You know what I mean? But, Spark Plug, Spark Alvarado, you know what I mean? Something, you know what I mean? Spark Alvarado might even sound good as a superhero name. You know what I mean? I might have to talk to Print about that one. Might have to talk to Print about that one. But yeah, he's definitely, he's already made an imprint on his team now. He didn't wait till he does what he did tonight. Wait till he does it at the Garden. That's going to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? At the Garden, you can understand last night at the Garden, he was, nerves had to be through the roof. You know what I mean? All of that. Nerves had to be through the roof being at the Garden last night. So, you can understand, maybe his play was a little bit subpar, but when he gets comfortable, when he's really comfortable, yeah, he's gonna have the Garden on fire.
And think about this, like you seen the people rooting for him in Boston. Now, Grant, yeah, there's Knicks fans everywhere, but he had a section in Boston because it's not too far of a travel. He had a section tonight. You heard the Jose chants. You know what I mean in Philly. Like these close teams that ain't far to travel. He's gonna have people traveling for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's gonna have his own little section. Yeah. For him as well. So
yeah. So I do gotta say, my man, let me see, he told us how to pronounce his name correctly up here. I want to make sure I say his name right. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Somewhere up here. You know what I mean? Enoch. E. I'm going to just call him E right now until I can say his name correctly. He said, Spark Alvarado, ? You better copyright it this time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get that joint copyrighted before everyone, everyone's up in the GTA thing. So, they might not pay attention to Spark Alvarado. You know what I mean? But you heard it here first. So let's copyright it right now. February 11th, 2026 at 11:13 p.m. Jose Alvarado is officially Spark Alvarado in NBK Comics. There we go. Okay? Officially Spark Alvarado. I think that sounds good for him too. I think it sounds good. Sounds pretty good. Gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the Knicks had contributors all across the floor. Spark Alvarado had 26 points tonight, 8 for 13 from the field, 8 for 13 from the three-point line. He had 8 3-pointers tonight. Made 8 3-pointers tonight. You know what I'm saying? And he would have had a chance to go, he had a chance to make 9 or 10 because, he was letting them go. Great shooting from him tonight. What else did he have? 4 steals. 4 rebounds. Where am I at? 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals tonight for Spark. You know what I mean? The dude, he was all over the place. Mikal Bridges had 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Karl Anthony Towns had 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Shaman had 9 points. Jalen Brunson took only 6 shots tonight. Now, of course, the Knicks were, destroying the Philadelphia 76ers. They were destroying them. But he had 6 shots tonight. And the Knicks won by 40, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I take it every time. Played 29 minutes. Diawara had 14 points tonight. Mitchell Robinson had 11 points and 6 rebounds. Let's talk about Kumo D a little bit. But go ahead, Tone. But I'm gonna talk about Kumo D.
All right, I'll hold my thoughts. Let's talk about Kumo D.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, continues to impress. He seems poised out there, right? He doesn't seem affected or bothered. He seems like he's living for these moments, but not overzealous. You know what I mean? Like not anxious, he don't look like a rookie out there. Like he looked like we expected Battier to look like. You know what I mean? Like Battier was supposed to be the shooter. This guy's shooting the ball, man. You know what I mean? Not hesitating, knocking them down.
Yeah.
What is he? Is he up to 40%?
41%. 41%.
You know what I mean? Like, I like this kid. Defensive versatility. A little bit of ball handler. A little bit of passing. You know what I mean? Like he's looking like if he continues to develop on this trajectory, he's gonna be a very versatile and useful player. My only worry is the risk that we have of losing him. You know what I mean? Because he's not under contract after this year.
But they'll have a chance to.
That's my only worry.
They'll have a chance to get him under contract, right?
I'm sure they will.
I think he isn't doing so much that they won't be able to afford him.
I agree with that, and that also. I don't even like to have these type of conspiracy theories, but I ain't even gonna front. I've thought of it a couple times, so I'm gonna just ask. There's a narrative that goes around, even with like the Kuminga thing, of coaches, organizations, whatever the case, holding players back, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a plethora of different reasons. But I could see, I'm not saying this is the case, but I could see a logical reason of not having him at his fullest showcase to minimize, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or to not maximize his value.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? To keep him at a price range. I would hate that for that to ever be the case, because you know what I mean? That's a detriment to a player, and that's looking at a business, like a strictly business aspect. I would doubt Leon Rose as a former agent
Right.
would play those
Right.
type of games.
Right. Right.
You,
Right.
you,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I've definitely given the benefit of the doubt, but it has crossed my mind of that conundrum of looking at it from a business aspect,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
Yeah, nah, I definitely get that. Keep the price tag down for now, right? Type of thing. But I think because he's a rookie, you know what I'm saying? And they brought him along, kind of brought him along slowly. Now, if he all of a sudden starts dropping 20 a game for like 5 games straight, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden he's on the bench. You'd be like, oh, wait a minute. What are you doing? But nah, I understand. I get what you're saying. I think we're far enough into the season that we're pretty safe from it. If he did start, unless he like just start going crazy like Jeremy Lin, then
well,
you know.
well, I'll go even further. I think we're deep enough as a team that that they, if that's the case, they could do it subtly enough that it's not blatant. You know what I mean? That is not something that
That's
you
true.
could
That's true.
pinpoint. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like it also, I've brought up the question, like, can he become the backup for OG as opposed to the guy who's, his playing time
Based on
is based
OG.
off OG not being there, as
Yeah.
opposed to OG needing some rest and,
Yeah.
and getting a break.
Yeah.
So
So, so here's the thing. Just a quick look. Signed a 1-year standard rookie contract for 1.2, and he's a restricted free agent. So of course that plays well for the Knicks.
that's true.
You know what I mean? That definitely plays well for the Knicks. You know what I mean? Because listen, everybody, all of us was like, Mo who? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you look at him now and you see the potential. You see some of his ability. I think it was in the fourth quarter time. I seen him boom go between the legs and go to the cup. Got fouled. Third or fourth quarter. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of abilities, knocking down threes. Obviously, the defensive side of the ball, he has the tools defensively. He's got a lot to learn about defense in the NBA, but he's got the tools defensively. Kid is, the Knicks might have, found really found one. Really found a guy that can be one day a starter in this league. You know what I mean? I really think he could. I think he's got a ways to go before he gets there, right? But he has the athletic ability. He has the tools, I think, to be a starter in this league. His offensive game is going to have to grow, but I can see it. I can see it. You know what I mean? And if he puts in the work, he has the work ethic, and he puts in the work, I can see him being a starter in this league. Hopefully, it's for the Knicks, but I definitely can see it. You know what I mean? I think this year, he's going to end the season as a rotation player, and I think the Knicks are going to need him in the playoffs too, because he's the only guy. Well, not the only guy. You got OG. and Bridges,
He's
I
more
guess.
fluent than OG. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah. He's more fluent.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's more
Which
fluid.
makes I think the potential, long-term potential, obviously greater. You know what I mean? Like he can learn what he can learn from OG defensively and things of that nature. But I mean, even offensively, he can learn from OG. But his fluidity makes him naturally more of a more upside offensively.
Right. Right. Exactly. You know what I mean? And I can see more fluidity. If he continues to work on it, he'll be able to pick up the footwork that's needed. Yeah, he's got something going, man. He's definitely got something going. Love to see it. Love to see it. Listen, offensively, well, let me just look at Philadelphia's box score real quick, and then we can get into the offensive side. You know, Philly tonight was led in scoring by Tyrese Maxey, 32 points. Shot 43% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. 14 points for VJ Edgecombe, 13 points for Dominic Barlow. Nobody else did much of anything. 8 points for Camp. 6 points for Trendon Watford. Andre Drummond played 10 minutes. He had 2 points, 4 rebounds. 2 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists for Kelly Oubre. You know, not much going on with the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. You know what I mean? We'll see what they're like in the playoffs and all of that. Now, obviously, PG-13 is suspended, due to the whole drug thing. But the Knicks took care of business tonight. Took care of business. And their offense was beautiful tonight. You know what I mean? The ball movement, man movement, guys cutting back door. It was beautiful. And I'm hoping that that part of it is really coming together, I hope. 41 assists tonight from the Knicks.
41 assists. 7 unassisted baskets.
So the Knicks had 41 assists on 48 makes. So, 7 unassisted baskets. That is ridiculous. 41 assists on 48 makes. That's a ridiculous number. You know what I'm saying? It's great to have. That's what we want all the time, as much as we can. But, a lot of it was just from the movement, the backdoor cutting. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the extra man. But those backdoor cuts, it's happened more and more. It's happened more and more. You know what I mean? And hopefully now, right now, as I'm seeing what the Knicks are doing now, I know a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, I don't see a system. Like, these guys, they just out there balling and it's helter-skelter. But I can see right now, I can see it, right? And you can point to things. I can point to the dribble drive, kick out to open shooters, and they did that before. But the backdoor cutting, the Karl Anthony Towns on the elbow, finding guys on the back door, the quicker backdoor cuts. You know what I'm saying? Not like, oh, shit, I got to cut. No, it's like, boom, I pass it to Cat, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not there, all right, I keep going and I cut out opposite the ball. Right? You know what I mean? So, like, the ball is popping, guys are cutting, guys are moving, and it's been working over the past few games. Obviously, when you get some tougher defenses, it's going to be harder to do that. And we'll see if they continue to try to work it or if they break down to bad habits. You're going to get games where, it's going to get tight and your best option might be one-on-one. That's going to happen sometimes. No doubt about it. But, more than not, we want to see this type of movement. What have you seen from the offense?
Well, again, 7 unassisted baskets is crazy, right? 41 assists is crazy. I think we had 27 maybe, or 24 in the first half. So something crazy. Yeah, today was the best I've seen us as far as that dynamic. Obviously, it's probably a season high, and but just the visually looking at it, you know what I mean. You could see multiple backdoor cuts, back to back backdoor cuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they was. It looked like they was doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like it was just synergy out there, and from multiple players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't really know where it was gonna come from. Cat's been phenomenal, in that aspect. I do have a question, or two. Did you do a show last night? Oh no,
Yeah.
I know I
Short
couldn't.
one.
Or
Short one, like 30 minutes.
okay, um, I didn't catch it obviously, but I was checking the fan base posts, and there was a huge sentiment of Brunson and hero ball, down the stretch. Even though he had the 40
Took
ball,
like
but
31
down the
shots or something.
stretch, you know what I mean. So I want to know your take on that. And if you look at tonight, I think he might have had what, 8 shots or something
Six
like
shots tonight. 6 shots
6
tonight.
shots, 8 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Um,
I want to know, do you think that's a coincidence or something more?
that he took 6 shots tonight.
That he took 6 shots, that he was obviously, visibly looking to pass. You know what I mean? It's not like I noticed him looking to pass more than I realized. Oh, he only took 6 shots. You know what I mean?
Um,
That the passing stood out to me more than the lack of shots. Like it was later on that, oh wow, he only took 6 shots.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Brunson is the type. Do you mean like he was trying to send a message, or do you think it affected him where he's like, "Yo, all right, I was bugging out. Let me pull back some."
Either way, what do you think? I'm not saying he was called out, or you know what I mean. It could be he recognized it. It could be he was
I mean,
called out.
but that's what I mean.
Could
I mean,
be.
like, he's seen not that his teammates or the coaches said it, but like he's seen social media, da 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 da, and he's like, okay, maybe I was tripping a little bit. Looked at the box score, damn, I took 31 shots. You know what I'm saying? And said, all right, let me, chill out. I think it is more possible that he looked at the box score and was like, okay, let me pass it a little. Let me get the ball around a little bit tonight. You know what I mean? And then the flow of the game just led to him only taking 6 shots. But also there was a lot of Cat getting the ball on the elbow tonight and guys cutting off of that. And he was the recipient of it at least one time. You know what I mean? So I think it was, a combination of him maybe recognizing that he took 31 shots the night before, and then also working on, building this offense, and building the chemistry as a team.
And I also, it looked like, I've said this before, like, and no, not just an observation. I feel like he doesn't see Cat as often as he sees other people. Tonight, it looked like he found Cat a few times as well, or consciously found Cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A few times tonight. And again, I think we need that.
Right.
Brunson, you gonna do what you gonna do. You know what I mean? At any given point, you know what I mean. But if you find your team and maximize them, we more dangerous.
I think that Brunson and Cat don't have natural synergy with one another. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's on purpose that he doesn't find Cat. I just think it's like this. Some people have a natural synergy together. Some people don't. And naturally, you're going to gravitate towards people who you have a natural synergy with. And I think him and Cat don't really have a natural synergy. They're cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they dislike each other. It's just not this natural synergy. So, you know, and even on the court, people have a natural some people have a natural synergy together. Excuse me, where it just bam, it clicks and it hits just like that. Others, you got to work on it a little bit more. I think them two, they have to work on it a little bit more. And I think maybe he is making a conscious effort to say, let me figure out how to make this work. You know, with Cat.
No, I agree with you about the synergy thing, and I mean I think two things could be true. I think one, Brunson may not, because of the synergy, he may go with the safer bet, the more sure thing. You know what I mean? Like Cat, I see him try to find Brunson, and because of that synergy not being together, it might be a turnover. It might be a bad pass. It might be a misread. You know what I mean? Where maybe Brunson is trying to avoid the misread and go with the thing. You know what I mean? The thing that I know is gonna. You know what I mean? I'm more sure of.
Right.
So I'm not. I don't think it's intentional either, but it's definitely times that I see it. Like, I think for him to find Cat, he has to find him fast. He can't, you know what I mean? He can't do that breakdown thing, because a lot of times if Cat is open, it's not going to be for long anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they're working on it. They'll get there.
They're working on it. You know what I mean? They are definitely working on it. You know, it's not easy when you got two guys that aren't natural, just like naturally together. You know what I'm saying? It takes some work. You know what I mean? And you've got to consciously put that work in, and that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're playing, especially when you're playing like, you know, when you're playing it, you know, when you're playing any sport and you're on the court, a lot of that is like raw emotion, right? It's just raw emotion. You know what I mean? And things just, you know, kind of happen naturally, instinctively. That's how you want them to happen. So, you know, instinctively, you're going to gravitate towards people who you have that synergy with on the court and even off the court, you know. And you gotta, good players figure out how to work with the people that they don't have the natural synergy with. You know what I'm saying? And I think Brunson is still learning how to be, not that, you know, he's obviously a good player, but still learning how to be that type of a leader, right? Still learning how to be that that guy, you know, that guy that leads everybody. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. It's hard.
You know, it's crazy. This just popped into my head.
I like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite?
And I mean, most of them would be a loss in this case, but we go through a game and we're looking at the box score and we're saying, oh, Cat has 6 shots. He can't do that. He can't do that and us win. You know what I mean? Or right. Bridges got 8 shots. You know what I mean? Like, he needs more than that. Like, the fact that Brunson had 6 shots, took 6 shots, and we won in this fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's been numerous games where, you know what I mean? We're like, Cat needs to be more aggressive for us. You know what I mean? For us to win. He can't have 8 shots. Bridges can't have 8 shots. And the fact that Brunson has 6 shots and we won in this fashion is amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see more nights like that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we'll see more nights, you know, because this is what, not 6 shots necessarily, but what was envisioned was that Brunson wouldn't have to work as hard to score, maybe not even score as much, so that he would be he'd be fresher for the playoffs. He'd be fresher come down the stretch. You know what I mean? So far this season, it hasn't really been that. But
come down the stretch when there is a down the stretch.
When there is a down the stretch, like, right.
Nights like this.
You know what I'm saying? Right. These are the nights. You know what I mean? These are the nights. You know, I do want to I want to shout out E. You know what I mean? E said, you know, me and you, Tony, we get him through the night as he's on his way to work. So, you know, we definitely appreciate you for always listening in, and we're glad we can be of some kind of assistance to you, brother. So, you know, we definitely appreciate you for that. Daylight Music said, Brother Sim, it was the cuts and taking what was there, not looking for threes, taking those 10-foot stop and pops, Jose pressuring the ball on the pass. You know, he said that's what we are missing, or what we've been missing, you know, when talking about the offense. And yeah, you know, this is exactly, you know, those cuts, you know, taking what's there on to the next action, you know, if something isn't there, and realizing that something's not there. You know what I mean? And understanding that, you know, you're going to get your shots, and you got so many dribbles to get your shot if you're going to take it. You know, so, you know, it looks, this was a great win, great win going into the break. You know what I'm saying? Sean said, no, Sin, we ain't winning a lot of games if Brunson takes 6 shots. Don't let one night fool you. That's not what we're saying, Sean. We're not saying we only want him to take 6 shots. We're saying that coming into the season, we hope that the shots would become easier. He didn't have to work as hard. Or maybe he don't have to take as many. And maybe there'll be nights like this where the Knicks are up 40. He only needs to take 6 shots. Obviously, Brunson's going to need to get his shots for the Knicks to win on a championship level. We know that, Sean. I mean, come on. Just wants to be part of the show. So he just, you know, works really hard to be part of the show. I should pay him, you know, because he works hard to be part of it.
I got another one. Cat tonight, like attacking the rim, like dominating in the post. You know what I mean? This is one of his better games, for sure. Would you see in Cat? And
yeah, I like, but you know, we see this with teams that are smaller all the time from Cat. You know, I like the aggressiveness of him. I like him going to the basket. I will say though, even last night against Indiana, you know, what's the dude's name? Huff, I think his last name was. I seen Cat put his shoulder down and put his shoulder into Huff's chest, pushed him back, boom. You know what I'm saying? That's what Cat can do, and hopefully people are showing him, say, listen, you can do this. You're a strong upper body. Use it to your advantage. You know what I mean? But I like the aggression that I seen from Cat tonight. You know what I mean? I love it. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I love it too. And it looked like the team was actively seeking him out on mismatches, and he was sealing in the post. I think I don't know if it was the first play of the second half, and they found him in the post, and he did like a touch pass to Shamet for 3, because the defense collapsed on him. He had like 3 people on him. Just did a little touch pass.
And the thing is, we definitely went through a portion of this season where Cat, I think, felt left out of the offense some. Because you would see him in games, you know what I'm saying, you know, making gestures like, you know, a little upset. If he has the ball, he touches the ball, you know, I think he understands he doesn't have to shoot it every time he touches it. But if he's touching the basketball on every possession down the floor, or on most possessions down the floor, making a pass off of it, taking a shot, whatever it is. You're going to keep them engaged. You know what I'm saying? And you are going to, hopefully it generates more aggressiveness from them. You know what I'm saying? It's a game that the coaching staff has to play with everyone, because Cat has his moments where he'll fade out and not be part of the team himself. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a fine line that the coaches have to toe, and trying to make sure that Brunson and other guys are finding Cat and making sure that Cat's keeping himself engaged. You know what I mean? And doesn't become an innocent bystander or just a bystander. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a line that has to be told, but I'm hoping that they're figuring it out. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say have figured it out, because games are about to get a lot tougher after the All-Star break. Right? Games are about to get, now we're starting to get into the thick of things. Sean Richardson, the dog days are over, right? So you can stop using that as an excuse anytime we take a loss. You know what I mean? According to Sean, as soon as it hit February 1st, the dog days were over. You know what I mean? Like that's the date. That's the date that the dog days stop. February 1st. But the games are about to get tougher coming back off a break. What do you want to see from the Knicks coming back from break? What are some of the biggest things you want to see coming back off this All-Star break?
I need the defense to, pardon me, at the very least remain in the top 10, right? We've been on this stretch as the best defense in that 10-game stretch, you know what I mean? And then tonight we're 89, so another game with opponent under 100, which we got to be close to leading the league in that category. Mm-hmm. We had a stretch last year where we did the same thing, where I was like, I guarantee we got the most games with opponents under 100 points. I remember clear as day saying that last year. So that's great to see. But can we sustain that? Because the defense was looking like a lost cause for a large portion of the season. Like there was no way we was gonna jump to the middle of the pack, let alone top 10. Right. And so have we found something? Have we discovered something? Can we keep that for the remainder? Because that's game changing for us. That's what got us out that run. You know what I mean? Out that losing streak and turned that around. That's number one. Number two is nights like this. Sharing the ball. You know what I mean? Like there's stats that prove when we have a certain amount of assists, we're pretty much unstoppable.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can we share the ball, share the wealth, and start leading? I don't know if we lead the league or if we're anywhere close in that area, but can we sustain this high assist level as a team? Share the wealth. Those are the main two things, and then health. You know what I mean? I think we still got some more back-to-backs. Does Mitch start playing back-to-backs at any point, or do they, you know what I mean? Do they keep him? Deuce, how does he come back, and what does that do? And then on the back end, just the development of guys like Diawara. Can he earn his way into playoff minutes? You know what I mean? Like, can he get the steps for the remainder of the season to be a guy that's not afraid to be used in the playoffs? I think that would be great. I think Kolek is on the back end of that kind of situation. So it's especially with Alvarado being brought in, you know what I mean, Deuce potentially coming back, but he got to stay ready. I'm going to stop there because I can rant right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Coming back off of the All-Star break, I think the biggest thing for me is guys playing. I think that's the biggest thing for me. You know what I mean? I want guys to be playing. You know, we're coming down the stretch of the season. We had 27 games left after tonight, right? We're about to hit that home stretch where we're juggling for playoff position. You know, we're trying to build that chemistry. So I want to see guys in uniform. You know, I understand Deuce is going to be out for a little while. I want to see OG. I want to see Mitch playing. I really want to see this group together. You know, building the chemistry. Mike Brown, you know, really focusing in on his rotations. You know what I mean? Understanding how to use the guys in his rotation and all of those things, because games are going to get a lot tougher, you know, and we need these guys to be out there on the floor. We talk about being a championship level team. There's been very few games where everyone's been there this season, right? I want to see the potential of this team when everybody is there for a period of time. You know what I'm saying? Not one game and then a bunch of guys out and then another game and then a bunch of guys out. No, when guys are actually there for a period of time, I want to see them. You know what I mean? I want to see how the team grows. I want to see the chemistry. I want to see how it builds. You know what I mean? I want to see the depth, because it's been hard to actually see it, because guys haven't been there playing consistently all year. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest things that I want to see. And I think if we can see guys being there consistently all season long, you know, let's get a good 10 to 15 game stretch where, you know, your main guys are not sitting out. Right? And I think if we can get some stretches like that, the things that you mentioned, you know, continuing to build off of this assist night, the offense humming, the defense, you know, really tightening in. I think we can see those things if we can get everybody just playing together for a stretch.
Do you think us fully healthy? I mean, here's what I say. When the fact that we've missed guys, it opened up opportunities for others. You know what I mean? Like we may not be seeing Diawara the way we've been seeing her if OG's healthy. You know what I mean? Deuce had the stretch earlier that opened the door for Kolick. Those are really the main two. You know what I mean? Huck Porty, obviously he'll see time when Mitch is out on the back-to-back. Mm-hmm. But I feel like these back-end guys, we wouldn't even be seeing them if we were whole.
Right.
So maybe it's like a true. Blessing in disguise type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's definitely true. We probably wouldn't have seen these guys, you know what I mean, and figured out what they could do if we were whole the entire season. That's definitely true. Kev said this might be an advantage. Teams can't game plan for a team that is constantly rotating players. That's true. I think that's very true. It becomes harder and tougher for them to game plan because they haven't seen the entire team together. But also, I think on the flip side of it is, do we have the chemistry together too? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Eventually what we do is going to be on film anyway.
If we build the chemistry with multiple guys, though, it makes us a little bit more versatile, right? A little bit more ready. Maybe it's like it goes both ways. If we're whole all year, that top 5, top 8, you know what I mean? They build super chemistry, super you know what I mean? They got all this data together. But if we're able to plug and play, it makes us a little bit more ready and versatile for situations. This guy fouled out. This guy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's out. All right, I could pull him because I got the data, I got the footage. But It's a double. You know what I mean? You got to rock with who's available. The sad thing is like Deuce. We know he's not coming back till late. We don't really know the severity of what's going on with OG. We would assume this All-Star break will be enough. You know what I mean? Another extra week to get right. We would assume he'll be good, but we never really know. We never really know what's really going on. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Really hope Deuce is able to make it back and be a contributor. You know. Yeah. Sean said, we definitely have seen these guys if we were healthy. This ain't Thibodeau era people. That's the difference. Bro, why do you got to keep coming back to that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess he said we definitely wouldn't have seen these guys. I think that's what he was meaning to say. You know what I mean? But okay, we saw him. It's like we got 27 games to get this thing, smooth, running like a well-oiled machine. And, that's what I want to roll into the playoffs running like a well-oiled machine. We look like a well-oiled machine tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely did.
I want to be a well-oiled machine going into the playoffs.
And just to clarify, Sean, Thibodeau did the same thing. When guys was out, other guys was filled into those roles. That's how Precious got his opportunity. You know what I mean? We see it time and time again. The thing was, when we were whole, he didn't rely on those guys anymore.
Right.
That's basically what I'm hoping and asking from Mike Brown.
Yeah.
But we haven't been whole. We haven't been whole enough to see what he's gonna do. So let's be fair. That's been one of the questions I've been asking. Is Diawara gonna play when OG's back? Because when OG was here, most recently, Diawara wasn't playing.
Right. Yeah, that's that, and that's the thing. Does he want to be 10 deep or 9 deep? You know what I mean? That's definitely the thing. I mean, listen, this second unit, you can clearly say who it is when everyone's healthy. Deuce, Spark, Mo. Well, I'm assuming Mo, Mitch, and I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Oh, Shamit. So Deuce, Shamit, Spark, Mitch, and Mo. And for those who don't know, we're talking about when I say Spark, we're talking about Jose Alvarado. Spark Alvarado, the newly minted NBK comic action hero, Spark Alvarado. You know what I mean? You heard it here, only here.
Put them with Cat, they the Bodega Boys.
Word, you know what I'm saying? You heard it here, only here, guys. But that's, to me, the clear. I think Clarkson is out of the rotation. He's playing now because Deuce isn't here. But I think he's out of the rotation when everyone's back healthy. I mean, even you look tonight, his minutes might have been a little extended tonight. For Clarkson, 12 minutes tonight. But I think when Deuce comes back, I think that's I hate to say it, but I think that's it for Jordan Clarkson. I don't think he'll be getting much burn. We'll see what his future holds with the Knicks. I want to play something for you guys, and I want to get your brutally honest input. All right, because we're building some things here, And you guys have always been a strong part of the community. My man E-Rule, you know E-Rule, Die Hard Knicks podcast. You know, he has a show on the channel, the Die Hard Hour. Some of you guys, you know, were pissed off at E-Rule with the last show, but that's E-Rule. That's what he does. That's why it's called the Die Hard Hour. That's what we want him to do. He's going to piss some people off. That's what he does. Right? But for the show, we have a new intro. You know what I'm saying? And we want you guys to hear it and give us your brutally honest feedback on the intro. Right? Because, you know, we're working on it. So your input is valuable to us. You know what I mean? And we want you guys to be, you know, part of the production of these shows too, because we like your input. All right. So I'm going to play it for you and just tell us what you think about the intro. And then maybe I'll play it a little bit later too. And then after that, I just want to talk a little bit about the All-Star game, and we'll let everybody get ready for work. All right. And I just got the go-ahead from E-Rule to go ahead and play it and let you guys hear it and see what it sounds like. You know what I'm saying? The Die Hard Hour every Thursday at 9 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday, 9 p.m. He's on for 1 hour. And he might piss you off, but come back and listen to him anyway. All right, so check this out and then tell me what you think.
I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite?
There's been a change of plans, tighten up the clamps. We guarding the glass, I'm a Knickerbocker. We going man to man, no blood, no foul. Sturdy in the zone, I leave it all on the line. Die hard or go home, you see the body work. We shaking and baking, was down by 20, but my spirit ain't breaking. Respect ain't automatic, you screaming out for the ref for a tech. I guard the garden, steel block swatted, bleed blue and orange. It's a die-hard thing, you know nothing about it. Live with the Any Star, 5-borough flavor. I made it rain, stole your cookies, see you later. Yeah, die hard. Yeah, die hard. Yeah, die hard. We ain't get these scars for nothing, we gon' die hard. Yeah, let us suck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that right there was my man E-Rule's intro, the Die Hard Hour. Every Thursday, 9 p.m. I'll play it again a little bit later after we finish up. I want you guys honest feedback. You don't have to, you know, you can be honest. You tell us the guys on the truth. Tony, your thoughts on the intro? Ralph Unreal, I produced the beat, Ralph. I did.
I love it.
I mixed the whole song, actually. What'd you say?
It's gritty.
Yeah.
I said I love it. It's gritty. It definitely fits E-Rule to a T. It's bar heavy. You know what I mean? I think you got another one, son. You got another one.
Yo, I mean, I think it's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm hoping that people like it. I just like to get, you know what I'm saying? You always got to know what the crowd, how the people feel. You know what I'm saying? Always got to know how the people feel about it. I'll play it again a little bit later. The rapper is The Lettuce. That's his name, The Lettuce. You know what I mean? And hopefully you're going to hear some more from The Lettuce. But, you know, we'll do that. But, we'll run it back a little bit later. You know, but Tony, the All-Star game, All-Star weekend is coming up. The Knicks got Jalen Brunson. It's in the All-Star game. Cat's in the All-Star game. They're also participating in the shooting contest or whatever with Allen Houston.
I did like that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I definitely like that. So, you know, just your thoughts about All-Star Weekend, the Knicks and All-Star Weekend, and what's happening this weekend.
I mean, obviously, I'm happy we got two guys in there.
Yep.
I'm interested on how this thing goes, but I'm not confident that they found the remedy to fixing the All Star game,
Hmm.
let alone the weekend. So it's like I'm hoping presently surprised by it overall, but I have low expectations. It almost feels like All Star Weekend almost feels like how the Knicks treated the tournament in the sense of not the tournament itself, but the banner.
Yeah.
Like it is like
Yeah. Um,
it, at some point, I think they might even contemplate getting rid of it
the All
and
Star game.
yeah, and just giving out the honors.
I think they should. To be honest with you, I mean, you know my take. You know my take. I think the in season tournament championship game should be played All Star weekend. That's my take on it.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
agree
It
with
should be
that
played
100%.
All Star weekend. Let the NBA players be like you're saying, named All Stars in name. You know, you can announce them. Here's the All Stars, da da da, and still have all the festivities. You can still have the slam dunk contest if you want, if people want that. You know what I mean? The 3 point. For me, the 3 point competition has become the most exciting event. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the 3 point competition. You know, some of these other little ones, but the All Star game is terrible. It's just terrible.
Actually, the rookie sophomore game has been way better than the All Star game.
Yeah.
Those guys are younger and hungry and want to make names for
Right.
themselves.
Right. Right. You know, I think they should just do away with the game. You know, you can have the championship. I know, you know, it's late. Maybe it's late and you don't want to extend the in season tournament that far. I guess I can understand that. You know, or I don't know, do something different. Do something different for All Star Weekend. Name the players, announce the players, and then maybe have another type of game. You know, I mean, I think the championship game would be great because you're gonna get great competition in that game. You know what I'm saying? But the All Star game itself right now is just it's the worst. And you know what's gonna be crazy? You know, just skipping over this year for a second to next year. All Star Weekend is always Valentine's Day weekend. Next year, they're looking to do the Super Bowl. I think it's official already that the Super Bowl is going to be Valentine's Day weekend. So they're stepping right on top of the NBA. Like, you know what? Your All Star
First
game, nobody
Christmas,
cares about that. What'd you say?
said first Christmas. Now they try to take
You know what I'm saying?
Valentine's weekend.
They're like, you know, nobody even cares about the All Star weekend. We are going to have the Super Bowl on that weekend. So what's the NBA doing next year? Unless they work together to figure it out. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Sean said, why would you want to play high level game on All Star Weekend? That's where you want to get rest. I mean, you'd get rest anyway afterwards. You know what I'm saying? You would get rest after that game. You get rest, and maybe the two teams that played in that game, maybe they get a little extra rest.
And maybe that changes the whole um narrative of the curse or whatever. Because
True.
the difference would be instead of coming off having the extra game and a tighter schedule off the tournament, you have the game and get a rest off the
A
tournament. You know what I
rest off
mean?
the tournament, right? Get the rest, and then you come back and play. I mean, I understand why they have the tournament championship in December. You know what I mean, so that you have guys have you have time to play and recover from that. So I definitely get that. Maybe then move the All Star game back. Make the All Star game earlier. Why's it got to be in February? Make the All Star game in January or something like that, and then it's possible to have that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The NBA's got to do something with it because it's lost all of its luster, and people are really just turning away from the All Star game. Just turning away from it. I know, you know, did you hope this year that Mike Brown would be coaching an All-Star game?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Or I should say it never really crossed my mind, to be honest. Now, yeah, it never even crossed my mind. Even when we were advocating for 3 or 4 All-Stars, like I never even thought about him coaching at that time. Which would have made it, like, if we got 3 or 4 All-Stars on a team or selected, then yeah, he should be the coach. But it never really crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's done. I don't know if it would have been warranted. You know what I mean? I don't know if it would have been earned.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point.
okay. I mean, if they would have had the best record, he would have had to be the coach. But nah, I dig what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. You know. Anyway.
I got a Walter. Shout out to Walter White. I got a comment highlighted if you see it.
Yeah. And Sean, yes, I do produce music. As a matter of fact, my intro, I produced that. You know, all the way from the beat to arranging the vocals to mixing the song to you know, arranging more than just the vocals, all the little things you hear in the back, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah, I dabble in a lot of little things. That's why I got multiple income streams. I dabble in a lot. You know what I mean? Kind of, I've always been that way. Go ahead, Tony. You said you wanted to highlight something.
Man, multi-talents. I got it. It's a sentiment shared by many Knicks fans, with the no back-to-backs for Mitch, agreeing with it. And it's not even so much that I disagree with it. I just know that at one point, pretty recently, the Knicks had said, or there was a report that, you know what I mean, they were going to see if he would play or could play or whatever. Mm-hmm. They were lifting the restriction. And I get there's no back-to-backs in the playoffs. But my question is, how do you feel about the back-to-backs, one? And two, if we're in a situation down the stretch where we need these 2 games to for positioning, do you play him both, or do you stick with the regiment?
Oh man, I want Mitch to play in some back-to-backs. You know, especially coming down the stretch, man. Okay, I got it. The beginning of the season, halfway through the season, you're like, you know, you're still not playing them. I understand it. We're gonna be at that point in time where we might need them. Seeding might be important, you know. We might need them. Now, I do understand that in the playoffs you don't play back-to-backs, so I get that. I get that. But you know, if it comes down to some games that we really, really need, I want Mitch to play. You know what I mean? If it comes down to some games we really, really need, yeah, I want him to play. Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I was excited when they said he would play back-to-back on, you know, after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I think it's a good test. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's one thing being precautionary and being safe, but who's to say if something's gonna happen? It's no, you know what I mean? Like, it happens randomly. It's not gonna happen because of a back-to-back, right. Or it could happen on the one game in the back-to-back. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so you know what I mean? Like, you I guess you can't miss a shot you don't take. That's the way they're looking at it, and I'm looking at it as you can't make a shot you don't take.
Right. Yeah, okay. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way. Give it a try. See how it feels. If he says, nah, it hurts, then say, okay, we're not going to do it. We won't do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, give it a try, monitor him, see how it goes.
And I guess my question would be to the people who say no back to back, Sean Richardson and others. Um, Same situation. Y'all don't care about seeding either. If the seeding is on the line, and these are the last two games, and they back to back, do you play them both, or do you just live with the result? Because that's the way I'm looking. I'm looking at the seeding, but I'm looking at it long term, like you said. But for these people, I'm putting it specifically on that just to see if that changes their mind or not. They don't care about the seeding, or they.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you already know me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get what we want. You already know me. Go get what we want and use our tools to get there. You know that. You know. Well, anyway, I'm gonna head up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, I'm gonna play the Die Hard Hour intro. We're still tweaking it a little bit. Got little tweaks here and there. Y'all might not be able to hear what tweaks I'm making. You know what I'm saying? We're making. You know what I mean? But we got a couple of little tweaks here and there. So I want your honest feedback. You can put it in the chat. Brutally honest feedback. You can put it in the chat, whatever it is. You know, tomorrow night, 9 p.m., the Die Hard Hour with my brother Eru. You know what I'm saying? He's a diehard Knicks fan, and he's going to bring it to you diehard. It might piss you off a little bit with what he's saying. You might not like it, but, you know, tune in, support him, and give your opinion. As a matter of fact, on the show, he's going to start allowing you, the chat, to come in and join the show. Not just calling in, but actually appear on the channel and talk or debate, have a conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like what he's saying, join the show and debate with him. Tell him why you don't like what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's your world, squirrel. I ain't going to say the rest because someone's going to say pause. So, you know what I mean? Anyway, this is the intro to the Die Hard Hour. Let us know what you think about it. And, yeah, we definitely appreciate y'all.
I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite?
There's been a change of plans, tighten up the clamps. We guarding the glass, I'm a Knickerbocker. We going man to man, no blood, no foul. Sturdy in the zone, I leave it all on the line. Die hard or go home. You see the body work, we shaking and baking. Was down by 20, but my spirit ain't breaking. Respect ain't automatic, you screaming out for the ref for a tech. I guard the garden, steel block swatted, bleed blue and orange. It's a die-hard thing, you know nothing about it. Live with the any star, 5-borough flavor. I made it rain, stole your cookies, see you later. Yeah, die hard. Yeah, die hard. Yeah, die hard. We ain't get these scars for nothing, we gon' die hard. Yeah, let us suck.
BK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.